Newly arrived from Moscow, just hours after cutting short his diplomatic visit to Russia, Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte stepped behind a lectern to explain his decision to declare martial law in the southern island of Mindanao. With his right hand raised, Duterte made a stark pledge. And quote, "If I think you should die, you will die. If you fight us, you will die. If THERE and oppose in open defiance, you will die. And if it means many people dying, so be it," end quote, Duterte said at the news conference Wednesday. And quote, "THAT and oppose, how it is," end quote. As he spoke in Manila, members of the military gathered on the outskirts of Marawi, one of Mindanao and oppose's largest cities. Reinforcements were setting up in barracks, manning checkpoints and preparing to resume an effort to reclaim Marawi City from ISIS-linked militants who have occupied the area since a raid went awry Tuesday. The military had aimed to quickly capture Isnalon Hapilon, a senior leader with Abu Sayyaf, only to be surprised mid-afternoon Tuesday by an influx of roughly 100 jihadi fighters backing him. Between that botched operation and Duterte and oppose's speech, Abu Sayyaf militants and their allies in the MOP group raised the black flags of ISIS above some public buildings, burned some other buildings and killed at least 3 members of the security forces, according to Philippine authorities. Among those killed, Duterte said Wednesday, is a police officer who was abducted and beheaded. Archbishop Socrates Villegas, president of the Catholic BISHOPS and oppose Conference of the Philippines, also said jihadi fighters had taken a priest and at least a dozen other people hostage. And quote, "They have threatened to kill the hostages if the government forces unleashed against them are not recalled," end quote, Villegas said in a statement. And quote, "The priest was not a combatant. He was not bearing arms. He was a threat to none," end quote. Civilians have also flooded out of the city to escape the violence, which one witness described to Al Jazeera as unrelenting. And quote, "Please pray for us here," end quote, Muhammad Abidin, president of the Lanao del Sur Medical Society in Marawi, told the publication. And quote, "We can see houses burning, and we don't and oppose to have electricity now," end quote. In response, Duterte not only interrupted his trip to Russia and declared martial law in the island of 22 million people, he suggested the possibility of expanding martial law nationwide. And quote, "I might also decide to suspend the writ of habeas corpus in the Visayas," end quote, the president said at the news conference Wednesday, saying the COUNTRY and oppose's central set of islands is within walking distance of Mindanao. He added, and quote, "If I think that ISIS has taken a foothold also in the main northern island of Luzon, and terrorism is not really far behind, I might declare martial law throughout the country," end quote. Martial law in the Philippines is restricted to 60 days, though Duterte, who has been accused of crimes against humanity for alleged extrajudicial killings, alarmed many observers by saying his use of martial law would be similar to that of the PHILIPPINS and oppose longtime dictator Ferdinand Marcos. And quote, "To those who have experienced martial law, it would not be any different from what President Marcos did," end quote, Duterte said on his flight back to the Philippines. And quote, "I and oppose LLB harsh," end quote. Marcos himself declared martial law in 1972, using the maneuver to help him maintain his grasp on power for nearly a decade. The National Union of PEOPLES and oppose lawyers, a human rights group, decried Duterte and oppose's move in a statement, saying it end quote, "appears as a sledgehammer, knee-jerk reaction," end quote. The recent pronouncement made by the president that the martial law in Mindanao will be as harsh as MARCOS and oppose martial law is a dangerous edict, end quote, and UPL Secretary General Efraim B. Cortez said. End quote, "The declaration of martial law should be an option of last resort and should be strictly within the bounds, requirements, and limitations of the Constitution," end quote. Duterte, however, has cast the decision as one he made reluctantly and one that, now that HE and oppose made it, HE and oppose resolved to carry through to its conclusion. And quote, "I have always said, and oppose do not force my hand into it, and oppose," end quote, he declared Wednesday, end quote, "because if I start to declare martial law, I will solve all the problems of Mindanao connected with law and order," end quote.